Hey, good morning. How are we doing today? I'm so glad to have you in the house today. So, have you ever been in a situation whereby you is like you are at the end of the road and you really don't know what to do? You've exhausted all through sufferings, through all that you've been through, addictions, um, just so much. Have you been in such a road before? Have you lost a child through stillbirth and it looked like the whole world is crashing on you? So, what is that thing that you've been through that you feel like God cannot handle? I just want to welcome you this morning to Grief2Grace Stories. So today, my name is Ruth Hephzibah, and I'm here to share with you, with my guest in the house, stories on grief to grace, how we've been able to navigate from grief to grace. So, what is that thing that you think you've been going through and you really don't know um, what to do and how to navigate it? You're welcome to Grief2Grace Stories, where we share powerful journeys of overcoming pains and finding purpose in our grief and embracing other people as much as we can to share their stories of grief and how they've been able to navigate it to grace to help you heal in your journey. So I'm your host, like I said, Ruth Hephzibah. I'm a speaker, I'm an author, and I'm a fresh start advocate. My mission is to show you the deepest of all grief, and that also there is a path to grace through your grief. No matter what you've been through, there is always a way to the end. Today, we have a guest in the house, Anda Grobbelaar, who will be sharing her personal story, the story of her loss, the loss of a second child who was stillbirth at 9 months old. So that was about 23 years ago. And how this heart wrenching experience actually ignited her purpose and her mission to help other people to heal. I really want us to work together in this journey as we share this story. But before I do that, I will be taking you to our personal projects that I love sharing. I just wanted to be part of this project. It is Adopt the Grieving Family Project. Adopt a grieving family. You need to adopt a grieving family as much as you can. Adopt a grieving family is a project that we have ongoing, and this project is very dear to my heart because a project. I've been through grief and I've been in these shoes where you don't even have money to do nothing. And but God saw me through, and through God doesn't come from heaven, He uses people. And you can be that instrument God may want to use today to help that one person who is in need, who is grieving, who is navigating grief and cannot work or cannot concentrate to do other things, because it's not just about money. Sometimes when they have anniversaries, you can send in tickets, meal tickets, or um, gift cards to restaurants, celebrate their anniversaries with their loved ones, birthdays, just a lot. So it's not, there are just so much you can do. You can scan the code up there or the code how to help, and you will see a number of ways you can help and adopt a grieving family. So the next thing I'll be talking about is my book, which is so dear to my heart. It's so dear to my heart because this is the right script. This pen, you are that pen that can rewrite grief. So a pen that rewrites grief is a 60-day guide to navigating grief. It can help you in your journey. Irrespective of what you've been going through, just know that you can navigate your grief. When you go through this 60-day guide, every day has its own interventions and its own stories and other things that can help you in your journey. So please, you can scan the QR code and it's going to take you to how you can get the book, A Pen That Writes Grief. So now, I just want to let you know that the next time you'll be seeing me, I'll be here with my guest, and she is Enda Kobla, and she will be sharing her story. Welcome back. Welcome back to our channel today. So, like I said at the beginning, I am Ruth Hephzibah, and I'm here on Grief2Grace Stories, where we share stories on how to navigate grief and move from grief to grace. So, I don't know how you're doing today. I usually like asking that question, how are you doing? Because I know a lot of people are navigating grief differently, and a lot of people are going through a lot. So, how are you doing today? How are you doing today? So today I have my guest in the house. She is under Grobbelaar. I hope I pronounced that properly. So she is from South Africa, and she is an international speaker, author, philanthropist, and future life designer. She's dedicated to helping others find gratitude in their journey through grief. As a coach and a mentor, she empowers individuals to transform their pains and their purpose. So, after experiencing the stillbirth of her daughter, her second daughter at 9 months, so that was about 23 years ago, Enda made a very profound decision in her life to begin to use all she's been through to navigate her life's mission to guide people towards healing. And that's all she's been doing all her life. And she's the founder of Grief to Gratitude Mastermind and the annual um, Angels Paris for children with cancer. So she offers support and joy to all of those who are in need. In addition to all of this, she is the co-founder of Fire to Wire South Africa, and she's using her expertise to inspire and uplift other people through resilience, love, and gratitude. So I'm so excited this morning to welcome Enda to the house today, and she will be sharing her story. So, Enda, how are you doing?
Hello, Ruth, and everyone here today. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I am extremely excited of being here and having this opportunity to tell my story because I really would like to make a difference to a million people out there to discover their purpose whilst they transform their grief into gratitude. And I hope that my journey after healing from the stillbirth of my precious daughter, Bibi, 23 years ago, will inspire them in some way. So thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Enda, for joining us today. So, for y'all listening today, the next voice you'll be hearing definitely is going to be the voice of Enda, and she'll be sharing her story. And she'll be sharing her story of how she was able to navigate grief. You know, grief is one thing, being in it is another thing, and being able to live it and now use it to influence other people's lives is a different thing. So, what are you truly doing with your grief today? What are you doing with that thing that is deep within you, like that shaped you? How has was that one moment of deep grief in your life, and how has it really shaped your life and shaped you into who you are today? So that's one food for thought for someone as we listen to Enda as she shares her story. So Enda, please, will you want to share your story, telling us how it all started and how the journey's been and where you are right now?
Thank you so much, Ruth. So we fell pregnant with our second baby, and everything in the pregnancy went really well. Um, I remember just before baby was due, my husband woke me up the Monday morning and said he normally put his hands on my stomach and then he would shake and Bibi would kick him, and they would have this major conversation between the two of them. Um, and she didn't kick that morning. And he said, when you get to the office, you need to phone Dr. Leon and make an appointment. He must have a look. Bibi didn't kick. So I went, yeah, 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 yeah. And then I remember when I went to the bathroom earlier in the morning, I felt like bubbles coming up my side, which was quite weird. But I thought, it's just Bibi playing around in the amniotic bag. It can't be serious. Anyway, I got to the office, I got busy, I forgot to make the appointment with the doctor, and by 12 o'clock I remembered. So I phoned, and the secretary said, "Come in immediately, we'll have a look." I went in, and as I walked out the office, it was so profound. The secretary asked me, "Will you please send us a photo of your baby?" And I turned around and I looked at her and I said, "I can't do that." And in that moment, I knew Bibi was dead. I just knew she was dead.
Hmm.
And on my way to the hospital, I phoned a friend and I said, "You need to come to the hospital because Len is going to need you." Len is my husband. And she said, "Why?" And I said, "Just come to the hospital." And I got to the hospital. I got onto the scan. Bibi was lying in a little fetus position and there was no heartbeat. She was, in fact, dead. So we had to go through the trauma of dealing with her death. I had a 4-year-old at home that was extremely excited to have this little baby sister at home because all Lene wanted was this little baby sister. And she actually said to her dad, "If this is a little boy, you must give him back. I only want a baby sister." So I came home without Bibi, and she was so distraught she wouldn't come close to me. But the irony was that Lene was born on the 8th of the 1st, and Bibi was born on the 1st of the 8th. Um, and that night when we came home, the Titanic movie was on Mnet, and Titanic was the first movie that we took Lene to see. Lene, to this day, does not watch the Titanic. She doesn't listen to the music. If it comes on the radio or TV, she walks out of the room. But, 3 years after Bibi's birth, Laneki came home very excited one day and she said, she knows what we can do for Bibi's birthday. So I said, "What are we going to do for Bibi's birthday?" And she said, "We can have an angel party for all the children with cancer at CHOC." CHOC is the cancer
Hmm.
unit in Cape Town at Tygerberg Hospital. So I thought, that's quite a nice idea. Okay. And for the last 18 years, we've been hosting annual angel parties for children with cancer at CHOC.
Hmm.
So in this journey, I read quite a lot in the beginning, and I made a lot of notes. And my husband said to me, "Why don't you just write your own book?" So I did. And it's called Bibi's Story, and it's available if anybody would like to order it from me online. So I wrote Bibi's Story, and then I got an opportunity to write Bibi's Story as a co author with 10 ladies in India in a book called Women of Power. So I did that. And then I got another opportunity to co author a book with 39 authors from 6 countries around the world to tell Bibi stories. So I did that. And now I'm running a mastermind where I help people to find their purpose in their journey from grief to gratitude. But in the meantime, we've also been blessed, and the Bibi Foundation was actually registered last year. So we can do so much more
Hmm.
work with the NPO now. And that's our
Wow,
stories.
that's great. Wow, thank you so much. It's been a very touching story because I can imagine how much you felt. And the baby, your daughter felt at that point that she couldn't really see the baby, you know. And at that point, when she felt like, oh, so baby girl didn't come back home with my mom, you know?
Yes.
Yeah, so, and you know how kids can really feel, especially with the losses, the devastating moment of realizing that your daughter would, realizing that you will not come home with your daughter, to your daughter in the house, and also not having a daughter in the house who is expectant and feeling so bad. And grief with children can really be so bad.
Mm.
And I can imagine, like, just trying to imagine though the deep pains of losing a child and how it really changed their life forever. Because I've really not lost one, but I've lost, my mother-in-law lost a child and she passed as a result of that. And I know my mom used to tell us a story of how she lost my brother, the one that was supposed to be senior to me. And I know she told that story like all through my life with her. She's, if she has any opportunity to tell that story, she tells it. And I know how grieved she was, because continuing to share that story and tell that story every moment that she had to do that, well, can really show how devastating it can be having a child, a stillbirth, and being expectant, and you never came back home with a baby. So, and now I really want to understand, like, what how did you really feel, with all these, with after experiencing the stillbirth of your daughter? What was that pivotal moment that made you shift from that grief of finding purpose? I know you talked about it, but I know there must be something really key that actually touched your heart so much, because that made you now move from that shift of grief to now finding a sense of purpose with gratitude.
So, Ruth, grief is a very natural emotional response to loss, and it's complex and it's a personal journey, and it affects us emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. But I remember when I went through that pain, I felt like a little buck that was being ripped apart by lions whilst it was still alive. And all I wanted to do was to scream that my baby is dead, and nobody in the world cared. People walked past me in the shopping mall and looked at me, and they were quite happy, but they didn't know. So when you grieve and you have to navigate that pain and that confusion, and you need to come to a place of adjustment after your experiencing of loss, it's my profound moment came one day when I sat in my pajamas on the couch and I was watching a program on a lady whose baby was stillborn. And I realized that unless I get up from this couch now immediately, I'm going to go down this dark hole, rabbit hole of depression, and I'm not going to get out of it, because my husband would come and visit me during the day and I'd be in bed and he'd say, "You need to get out of bed, sweetheart." And I said, "I don't want to get out of bed. I don't want to shower." But when I realized I need to do it now, otherwise I'm going to be lost for them and for myself, that healing process started. And it was so, so, so incredible that when I made that mind shift change, I could get up in the morning and I could wake Lane up, and we would open the curtains in her room and we would say, "Thank you, God, for another beautiful day." And when she came home in the afternoon from preschool, I would show her how the flowers are forming and budding in the garden. I would show her how the grass has different colors of green, a beautiful bright green in the sun, a little bit darker in the shade. And we would look at the clouds. And that's how my journey of healing actually began. And, you know, grief is a sign of love and connection. And it, for me, it's a testament of the depth of what it is that we've lost. Whether it was a person or a relationship or a dream, or even a phase of life. And grief challenges us to reframe our reality. We need to find meaning in our pain, and ultimately, we need to rebuild a new version of ourselves. And that's really what I've been doing over the years for myself and for other people that I have come into contact with.
Wow. Thank you. Because that was really like great. you know, Basically, when it comes to grief, most people really don't understand how devastating it can be, you know, and most times they don't even know how to navigate it because they've not been able to define their grief. They've not been able to say, oh yes, I am grieving, I am grieving. And so because they don't even know they are grieving, then they don't even know what to do, you know. So the first thing is actually
Correct.
knowing what you're grieving about and knowing that you are, then now knowing what to do. So now you've been able to get all through all of this. How do you guide other people to embrace hope and grace when they feel completely consumed by their own pains and loss? Because from your story, you do a lot right now, and your daughter, was able to say, "Oh, let's go get with the cancer." With I'm always very passionate when it has to do with cancer because I lost my husband, you know, from cancer and to cancer, and it's been really like when I hear of cancer, I if I can crush it, I want to crush it. If I have a
Mhm.
way to develop something that when I touch you like a toshometer and I know you have cancer, we can cure it immediately. I think I would have done it a long time ago. So what do you do now? How do you
Yeah.
guide other people to embrace that hope and grace when they feel completely consumed with the pain and losses that they go through?
So, so I've mentioned that I run a mastermind on finding your purpose in grief to gratitude. And what we do in that mastermind is we look at these deep rooted emotions in a safe environment. Because when people grieve, they engage in compulsive behaviors, they withdraw from relationships, they overfunction because they want to avoid dealing with the grief. They become irritable, they have sleep issues, they have physical symptoms of loss and grief, and their mental health then worsen after losing somebody. So we look at these deep emotions um, with people in a similar position. And then we actually develop a roadmap
Hmm,
of how to turn that grief into gratitude. And along the way, we help you find your purpose.
hmm,
You know, when we do that, we build resilience back into the person. And resilience is that ability to adapt and recover from adversity, challenges, and setbacks. And the reason why it's important to build the resilience is because it empowers people to navigate difficulties and to emerge stronger. And that's what we do.
wow. Thank you so much. Oh my God. So I just want to say thank you for joining us because mostly when with all of these things you're doing, talking about gratitude, most people don't really know how to be grateful to God or to whatever they've been through or the situation they are in because sometimes they just allow their emotions to bring them down and take them away from what they are going through. So I am one strong advocate for gratitude. I believe that people should be grateful for all that they're going through. I used to not be grateful, but I had to learn how to be. I remember then my late husband, most times when I am complaining, God didn't do this, God, he's always like, no, he has done so much. I really didn't understand what it meant when you say God has done so much, you know. But today I know, I know what it means when you say God has done so much. Even in the pain that you're going through, even in those things, situations that look like you cannot as move out of it. Maybe in those situations that it looked like you are dying and you are crippling, it looks like, how am I going to get out of this situation? In the midst of it all, when you're grateful, when you begin to look deeply, look inwardly, begin to look well, you begin to see that it was not bad after all. I say it every day, and I have a paper presentation which I've done on this, that grief is not bad after all. I used to be in the shoes that grief was bad, but now I can tell you it has been able to shape me. It has been able to move me from where I was stuck, and been able to move me to my place of purpose, to being unstuck. It's been able to help me find purpose every day. It's been able to help me see the reality of what is going on around me. It's been able to help me shift my mindset from what I was used to where what is obtainable, and grief. Today, I can say I'm grateful to grief that I have been through. I'm grateful for all of the situations. And each time I'm grateful and I share my gratitude and I tell God I'm grateful, He does more. He does more. And every day is just like God is doing it. He's doing it. When I feel I'm drowning, because I've been able to say, yes, thank you, Jesus, then I begin to see greater things. So I really love that name, gratitude. I love it so much, and there's nothing we can do without being grateful to God for what He has done for us. Being grateful to our situations and the things that we have right now. So based on this, I want to just take you through the three takeaways that I got from this journey that she's been through, from Ender's journey. That one, grief is a journey. It's not a destination. It evolves, and with time, you can find moments of gratitude even in your pain. And the second one that I got from it is that purpose can be born from loss. Your story, your experiences can inspire and uplift other people working in similar purpose, working in the same part, working in the same purpose. Maybe they've not seen it, but when you begin to find your own purpose, they begin to find theirs too. Then the third one is that healing happens in a community. So in coming together, in helping each other, then we become healed. Like Enda, in trying to do all those things she does with the cancer people, she has been able to find her whole healing. She has been able to find her own path. She has been able to find her own purpose. And today, she is sharing her story. So, sharing your story and listening to others creates a powerful cycle of grace and support. So, don't undermine it. Don't overlook it. Don't keep it back like you don't know if it's ever going to be good. And based on this, I want to ask you all listening today, can you recall a time when you saw a glimpse of hope or gratitude in the midst of your pain? Can you? When you answer to these questions, I usually send you books, I send you ebooks, and today I'm going to send you an ebook on gratitude if you answer this question. So, can you recall what when you saw a glimpse of hope or gratitude in the midst of your pain? Or, okay, let's put it this way, how do you honor your loved ones who you've lost? How do you honor them? By creating something meaningful in their memory. Or let's put it this way, what is that one moment in your life, you know that has actually shaped you to who you are today. So today, I just want to say thank you because it's been a very beautiful journey with all of you. Moving from grief to grace, wouldn't that be possible with me if I didn't find purpose in my pain, if I didn't find grace in my grief? And today I'm also coming out to y'all to share your stories here at Grief to Grace. You too can share your story. You too can begin to heal from it. If you feel at any point that you're stuck, send me a DM on grief2gracenow@gmail.com, or you go to our website, grief2graceinternational.org, and definitely you will be able to find us there and find purpose in your pain, irrespective of what you're going through. So, I just want to thank you. Before we take the Bible verse and the call to actions and all of it that we need to do, I want to take you back to our guest, so she can share with us her story on how you can reach her, if you've been really moved by her story. Maybe you navigating grief in a different way, maybe through stillbirth, and you really don't know how to go about it. Okay, it's okay not to be okay. Now you have Enda in the house, and she will be able to guide you through, because everybody's grief is different. So also the way we navigate it. So I am a fresh start coach. I won't be dealing with you on her own purpose. So you can reach out to her if you know you're navigating the same kind of grief. And now I want to ask Enda, how can people reach you if they want to find purpose in their grief?
Thank you, Ruth. They can reach me at under ANDA dot Grobbelaar GROBBELAAR at gmail.com. But before I go, I just want to remind everybody, when you focus on the things that you're grateful for, the things that you look at change. And with grief, you have a choice. You can choose for grief to immobilize you, or you can choose for grief to let you grow. The choice is yours.
Hmm.
Thank you, Ruth.
Thank you so much. So now before we leave, I want to share with you our Bible study for the day, our Bible verse for the day. And that is our Bible verse, which is always mainly because this has helped me in my journey, is in Psalm 34, verse 18. And it is, the Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in the spirit. May these words find solace on each and every one of us, on everyone in their journey, in the name of Jesus. So, I also want to share with you this quote, which I have quoted before and is coming back again. You may have encountered defeats, so many of them, but you must not allow yourself to be defeated. In fact, it may be necessary to encounter this defeat so that you can know who you are, what you can rise from, and how you can still come out of it. That is from Maya Angelou. So today, I just want to say thank you for joining us today. And you can reach us on grief2graceinternational.org. You can follow us, Grief to Grace, on all platforms. Grief to Grace on Facebook, Grief to Grace on Instagram, Grief to Grace on YouTube, Grief to Grace on Spotify, Grief to Grace on Apple, Grief to Grace on TikTok. Thank you, our TikTok followers, because we've really grown. We've really grown on TikTok. So thank you so much. So Grief to Grace on TikTok, Grief to Grace everywhere. And I want to thank my team members for all that you're doing every day, trying to make sure we show up here. So we right now we trying to open up our platforms to as many people that want to be part of it, because the whole purpose God gave us this initiative is to be able to reach out. It's not just for me to be able to reach out, it's for every one of us to be able to reach out to people. And for us to be able to meet this, we have decided to open up our platform to those who want to share their contents in our platform. So if you want to share your content on Grief to Grace platform all over, on Grief to Grace platform, YouTube, we have it all over. And if you want to share your content there and reach out to, because it's about reaching out and helping other people. I am not doing this because I want to get anything out of it. I'm not doing Grief to Grace because I want to make money from me. I do Grief to Grace because God sent me to do this. And everyone that know me know that I don't get a dime from Grief to Grace. Rather, I give to Grief to Grace. So, Grief to Grace is a platform where we try to help people rise. I have been so down. I was battered. I lost me. I died to me. And this is the only platform that I know I can use to help you rise, because a lot of people are going through the same thing and they need to rise up. So thank you. If you want, you can reach us. You can reach me on any of our social media platforms. You can DM me, you can send emails, or you can reach me on our website. And definitely on info at grief2graceinternational.org. I will definitely get back to you. And starting off from the 10th of this month, we are going to open up our platform to as many people that want to do that, and that want to reach out, that want to share their testimonies, that want to talk to people, that want to help other people, coach other people, talk to them about how they can move from grief to grace, how they can share Jesus Christ, because this platform is all about how we can heal using the power of God. So thank you so much for all that you're doing. Thank you, Enda, for being here. I'm so sorry we are like
Thank
two
you so much.
4 minutes away. Thank you so much for joining us today. And don't forget, y'all, to like, to share this, share it to everybody. And don't forget to get my book, A Pen That Rewrites Grief. Thank you so much for joining us. I love you, and God loves
Thank,
you more. Bye.
thank you. Bye.